Nyeri County is mourning. The whole of the country is mourning as condolences continue to pour in after the death of 64-year-old Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua, who died in the United Kingdom. We're here to keep you up to date with the latest developments, even as we expect briefings from members of parliament and former Madira member of parliament and Senate aspirant Ephraim Maina. These stories that are currently developing, but we'll also be going live at the home of Nderitu Gachagua to just take a look at what's going on that end, among other stories here on KTN Newsdesk. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. First things first, before we get into the bulletin, let's first take a look at the highlights. Leaders pay tribute to the late Nyeri Governor Nderitu Gachagua, who passed on this morning. 4 workers die in Thika after they fell into an effluent pit. And Wajir County sets the pace in countering water shortages by introducing a water ATM. Good afternoon. Our sign language interpreter is Meresha Owiti, and I am Akisa Wandera. Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua has succumbed to pancreatic cancer while undergoing treatment in London. His death brings an end to a tumultuous political career that saw him survive 2 dramatic impeachment motions. Arrangements are currently underway to bring his body back home for burial. Elected into office in 2013 under the GNU party ticket, 64-year-old Nderitu Gachagua had endured a rocky tenure in office, having survived 2 impeachment motions after senators voted against the moves.
We are confident and we are convinced that the allegations that have been put up against the governor are sufficient grounds to impeach him.
Na ile pesa tunapitisha kwa mbunge ya makaunti yote hapa kwetu Nyeri, mimi sioni kitu inafanyika.
When our lawyers showed up at the assembly with our defense to enable the county assembly to take a vote after having heard us, they were denied an opportunity to present the defense to the assembly.
His tenure in office was also fraught with scandalous allegations of misappropriation of public funds to the tune of 8 million shillings, as well as abuse of office. Before becoming Nyeri's first governor, Gachagua had served as a member of parliament for Mathira constituency. He passed on at 2:15 while receiving treatment at the Royal Marsden Hospital in London. Gachagua had been in London since late 2016 after barely appearing in public for despite his illness, he was still in the running for the Nyeri gubernatorial seat, having paid the required 100,000 shilling nomination fee to the Jubilee Party. Sources close to the governor revealed that he had been battling the disease for the past 2 years. Trix Ingado, KTN News, Nairobi. Deputy Governor Samuel Wamathai earlier spoke to the media, sending his condolences to the late Gachagua's family. Let's take a look at that particular address.
Are we ready? Are we ready? The Deputy Governor will give a statement on behalf of the government of Nyeri.
Members of the press, it is with immeasurable grief and indescribable pain that we announce the untimely death of our much beloved and respected Governor of Nyeri County, His Excellency Honorable Nderitu Gachagua, early this morning, Friday, 24th February 2017, while undergoing treatment in a London hospital. We convey our deepest sympathies to the family, relatives, and the friends of His Excellency Governor Gachagua, and also to the people of Nyeri County for the loss of this great man and a great leader. As we share in this overwhelming grief, we shall keep you informed of any further developments. And the book of Romans, chapter 4, verse 9 says, if we live for the Lord. And if we die for the Lord. So, whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. This is the first official communication from the county government of Nyeri, and we are aware that.
From Nyeri County now, let's listen into a media briefing by Nyeri County Senator Mutahi Kagwe, who is at Parliament buildings.
In the Royal Marsden Hospital in London. At the time of his death, he was surrounded by his family, who have been there with him since his situation deteriorated. The President has been obviously informed about this matter, and the national government has already initiated machinery to assist the family that is currently in London. Ambassador Amayo is already with the family where they are in London and is involved in the process and making arrangements of how the late governor's body is going to be brought home. Now, it is also clear and evident that the arrangements for to fly the late governor's body home takes a little bit of time, and normally it will take at least 2 to 3 days to make such arrangements.
Nyeri County Senator Mutahi Kagwe there, speaking for the first time since the news of the demise of Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua, who died this morning at a hospital in London. And we've just from another press briefing in the county of Nyeri, the first official communication from the county government led by the Deputy Governor Samuel Wamathai, who describes this sudden death of the governor as an indescribable pain, but says and is set to reassure residents of Nyeri County that everything will go on despite the demise of the governor, that things are still on course. And Wamathai, interestingly, was the last person to speak to the governor, and he says he spoke to him yesterday night. Among the things they discussed were development projects, especially an 80-kilometer road that is expected to start being constructed in Nyeri County. So Wamathai, the deputy governor, says he is among of those who are completely shocked and distraught by this particular or sudden demise of Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua. Mutahi Kagwe, the senator, is also currently making an address at the Parliament buildings. Let's just go back there and continue listening in.
And the wishes also, we must also respect the wishes of the family. So we will be consulting with the family to see how to progress forward. I think it is also important to say here that there is no vacuum. There is no leadership vacuum in the county. Because, as you know, if you look at Chapter 11 of the Constitution, specifically Article 182, which deals with the demise of a governor, and even more specifically, Article 182.2, it simply says that the deputy governor shall assume office in the event of a governor's death for the remainder of the term. So as we speak, pending any other matter, unforeseen matter arising, Ambassador Madai, who has been the deputy governor of Nyeri County, has effectively assumed office as governor of the county. And therefore, there is no vacuum. We will be working closely with the government of Nyeri and making the kind of arrangements that you have alluded to. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Senator of Nyeri County, Mutahi Kagwe, there, just finishing his address to members of the press at the Parliament buildings, once again confirming the death of the governor, saying he died in the presence of close family members who flew there when his condition totally deteriorated. But he says there will be no leadership vacuum in Nyeri County, but they will await communication for the family on the way forward. And here on KTN News, we continue to cover the death of the leader in a way only we can. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, our Nyeri crew is currently at the Nyeri home of the late Gachagua in Iriga area. And we bring in the standard reporter in Nyeri, Lydia Nyamira, for more details about what exactly is going on in Iriga. Thank you very much, Lydia, for joining us. Just keep us up to speed about some of the activities that you have seen go on in the home of the late governor.
Thank you so much. Now we are at Iriga home in Nyamira constituency, Nyeri County. Currently there is not much, a few workers who are cleaning up the compound. And one of his eldest brothers is here, but most of the family members are still in London as the governor passed away today morning at around 2 a.m. So there is not much activity. Residents are yet to come into the family home. But so far only a few workers are cleaning up the compound.
All right, we seem to have a problem with that particular link, but we'll definitely sort it out and join Lydia Nyamira, who says most of the family members of the late governor are still in London, so there's no much activity at his home in Iriga, Nyeri County. Let's now go to something else for a while. 6 out of 10 Kenyan voters who were polled in a voter bribery survey involving 10 counties confirmed having ever received a bribe from politicians. A report on voter bribery as an election malpractice in Kenya that was commissioned by the Center for Multi-Party Democracy and Conrad Adina states that though half of the respondents agreed that they were aware that voter bribery is a crime, majority still engaged in it because no politician has ever been convicted on account of bribery.
When you divide 50 shillings per year, run down per month, go into a day, it is 0.005 cents per day. And somebody sits in that office for 5 years. It is high time that this is done and done right. The biggest weakness that we have is that not that we don't have laws, but more often than not, we turn our eyes off the focus of the law and gloss over it at the expense of the people we serve.
Once you elect these people who keep on giving you all the time, when they go there, they don't empower you so that they can keep on making you poor so that you re-elect them all over and all over again. You and your family, you'll end up in the dungeons, and the politician you have elected, their lives will always be high. So Kenyans, ask yourselves, what is it you want for yourselves? What is it that you want in your life?
Voter bribery, my dear brothers and sisters, is not going to go away. Yeah, it is going to be there. Because you cannot go to preach democracy to a hungry stomach. Sema umeongea hiyo yote halafu unatuachaji. You know what we are told when you go? When you go, you talk to people. Then you find the young people surrounding your vehicle. Wanakuambia hata za macho. Toka hapo bila kutoa shilingi wewe. Utajua. Wewe Mwaura ni mchoyo, hatuangi chochote, hata kura tutampatia. They even start shouting the name of your opponent.
If Kenyan voters will take that route of taking a bribe from politicians before they elect them into political office, what could be the impact of that with regard to Chapter 6 of our Constitution on leadership and integrity?
I think that is where the Kenyans miss the point, that we need leaders who can affirm the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Electing people on account of the amount of bribes they give distorts the free will of the people. It distorts the outcome of the elections. It produces leaders who are not accountable, leaders who will not deliver on even the very promises that they make.
All right, let's now take a short commercial break. Don't go to